Alrighty, are we live? Yes, we are. Welcome to the Color Up Podcast, where tonight's episode is Midnight Rolls, ringing in the new year. And we're going to be talking about, what happened this past year, but what can you be thinking about? What will we be thinking about? What are some of our New Year's resolutions as we head on in to the new year?
Welcome to the Color Up Podcast. Whether you're a seasoned player or a beginner eager to step up to the table, this is your lucky podcast that's all about the thrill and strategy of the casino world. I'm your host, Jeremy. With me is Jim the Professor. Let's get rolling. Wow, Jim, this is either going to be a big episode or
Epic.
like a Seinfeld episode about nothing.
I hope not. I hope not.
No, hopefully we can entertain the peoples a little bit by talking about some of our looking backward, looking forward. You kind of do that as the new year approaches, and we're right up on it.
Absolutely.
So you're in a new location.
Yes,
temporarily,
Jeremy. This is as my old radio mate used to say, Rush Limbaugh. We're broadcasting from the Southern Command in Titusville, Florida, where my youngest son, who I'm very proud of, works for SpaceX, and he is out watching a movie with his mother, Bonnie, my wife, and they went out to catch a movie, and they let me go ahead and set up in here, and I brought some Color Up towel with me so I could have a little bit of that Color Up flair with me. So I'm glad it's working out. I'm on the MacBook Pro and ready to go. So it is great to be here. So I hope you had a great holidays, and we still got some more. We still got less than 52 hours till the new year rings in. So
yeah, we got
exciting
a little bit of
things.
time.
Yeah.
So did you? He's part of SpaceX. Have you seen any launches or anything?
There was a launch last night at midnight. There's another one tonight at midnight. And in theory, after we do our Joe Rogan 3 hours. No, I'm teasing.
Yeah.
We're gonna go ahead and in theory we're gonna go out and watch another launch tonight. Okay. So we had a little bit of weather coming through earlier with some storms and thunder, but I think all that's passed, and I think it's gonna be a go. We were gonna do it last night, but Jeremy, when I drove from my uncle's place in Inglewood, we drove across the Florida yesterday, and we got back late around 10, and I was like, I don't know, Sam, if we're going to make it to the thing. So we were at the hotel a few miles away, and it woke us. I didn't really wake us up because I hadn't fallen asleep yet, and I heard, and I looked outside, and I couldn't see it because the hotel room wasn't facing the right way, but you could hear it. So hopefully we'll see a launch tonight. So very proud of both of my sons, and one works in the defense contractor, the other one is helping out in the space industry over here. So, but it's great to be here in Titusville.
Yeah,
Florida.
That's really close. I mean, that's so cool. Like, I lived in Naples, Florida, which is south of where you were at,
right?
And I never made the trip to go see a launch. For one, because it's dicey. It's like, well, if there's weather, it's not going to launch, whatever. So I lived there 20 years. But even from there, you could see the launch.
Oh,
so
wow.
It was, we're hundreds of miles away, and you could see the launch every time. So it's,
pretty flat.
Looked out the window and watched it start the curvature around the Earth and stuff. You couldn't see the initial launch,
right?
Because of the horizon or whatever. But you'd eventually see it start doing its thing. And that was back in the day when the government was doing it, right? Which wasn't very frequently.
Now it's
Elon's
like, company, yeah.
Elon's like every day, right? Like,
I mean, 2 back to back. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah,
So
and then he also launches them out of Texas too. And
Texas, and also in California, I think, is the other place they launch from. So very
He's
exciting.
Busy sending all kinds of stuff up there into space.
Yeah.
Okay, not to make this a
SpaceX
show, but
no, go ahead.
Well, I guess we were just talking about the holidays and what we're been up to. So
How,
you've been doing a little traveling, get to visit family.
Bit. Yeah, that's right. How about you?
Very quiet. So, my wife's been working. She did come home for 2 days, and so we got the family. We actually held Christmas on the 26th, just because that's
the way.
But other than that, like my Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, I was home alone. I've been home alone since. I've been watching TV and movies, and like I have been chilling probably way too much, but
Oh my gosh.
yeah, just alone, and it's kind of a different. So it's a weird, different feeling, but
Okay.
yeah, just very quiet around the Color Up household.
Well, I'm glad we're getting an episode in this week. At least you'll have maybe
Yeah, I
some
got
of your
some
family members will
communication with
jump
some
in like
people and-
usual.
Maybe.
Yeah.
So what do we say? I guess we need to reflect before the page turn, the new year, the
Now
midnight
look back
roll.
so you can look ahead, I guess. So
Yeah,
what,
I've
what,
never,
you know,
I've
you're,
never
you're
been
not a
one
big guy.
I've never been one for like reflecting and setting goal setting and New Year's resolutions and all that stuff.
Not
but
you.
I'll try.
Okay.
No, not
Okay.
really. I'm more of a wing it type guy. I don't
All right.
know.
Well, you're pretty successful for a wing it type guy, so
Very
Very
well,
impressed.
I don't know. It depends.
okay.
So reflect on the last year, big stuff. I don't know. You might have to help me with a couple things. I do know this spring hit 100,000 on YouTube, 100,000 subscribers. That's kind of a thing.
That's a big thing.
Yeah, I guess it's
Less than 1%, correct?
something like
Didn't
that.
I read that somewhere? Less than
possible.
1%
It's-
of all channels get up to that one.
Yeah, most people certainly give up before then. So it's really cool that it's still, a hobby and that many people also like me watching videos, right? That's kind of fun. So that was sometime in the spring. I don't know, February, March, something like that. And then March, I know it's March because I went on a cruise, earned points, and then April 1st, all your points go down to 0. So March, I went on my very first cruise with Holy Roller.
Right.
He generously took me on one, where I then earned my free cruises. And
Your free
I've been on
cruises.
There you
go.
I went on 4 this year. I've already got 3 lined up for this the beginning of next year. So I guess I'm a cruiser now.
I tell you, Holy Roller Brian has created a monster. So
Yeah, I
look
told
out.
my wife, we've got to slow down. I'm like, you know what? Maybe at first I was like, every other month. I'm like, that's still ridiculous. I'm like, maybe once a quarter, like 4 would be nice. And it still gives you something to look forward to. I just don't want it to be like, yeah, another cruise next. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
it's kind of,
Hey,
and
if you keep going, you want me to look around my son's house? Maybe he's got a Sharpie back here. I can get a Color Up Cruises, channel
Yeah.
going here.
no, I
don't know.
I don't think I'm doing that, but
No, okay.
I should start really I know no one's been successful in letting them film, but man, maybe they would let me film. That would be fun. But yeah, I'm like, I got to slow down and to keep it special, right?
Right.
Because they are fun, but I don't
They are
want it
very
to be
fun.
like. My wife's like, if we go every month, it'll still be special to me, and I'm like, okay, I get it, but yeah, I don't think so. So
Well, and your wife's
hopefully, I'm going to try to.
industry-
So I guess that's a resolution for me to slow down on the cruising.
Okay, but in your wife's industry, in her defense,
Yeah.
she's in a service industry, and it's nice to be served instead of being on that side of it, right?
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, she's got to renew on that, so hopefully she'll. You could still work them in. Maybe slow down a little, but don't eliminate them. Keep those
Yeah.
cruises in there.
Justice Jen in the comments said to try a different cruise line, and that's fair too. I've been on Royal, and pretty much everyone says, "Hey, just show your comps and stuff, and people will match it." At least for the first one, so I should be able to
Okay.
try and expand. But again, I don't like. I already got one in January, or I'm leaving next week for one, Jim. I got one in February. I got one May to
Oh my
Alaska.
gosh.
Like,
I tell
like, you know
people
what?
about you and your schedule. Some people will say, "Hey, Jim, you didn't have a Color Up, on YouTube. You didn't have the Color Up
Missed an
podcast." I say,
episode.
you try to pin this guy down. He's on the ship all the time.
Yeah, it's been a little crazy, but I'm like, okay, after the Alaska one, slow down. Maybe one in the summer, maybe one in the fall, and that'll be it. I think.
Okay.
That's my
Okay.
resolution. I guess.
So I've got one coming up for spring break. I'm still, Mr. Teacher, so I always like to have at least one little fun thing to look forward to. So that's what we're doing. We're doing one over spring break, and it's leaving out of our city over in Norfolk, Virginia Beach area. and it's leaving out of Norfolk and going on down to the Bahamas again, but that's okay. And we won't have to travel the day before. We can just get up that morning, get our son to drop us off, or whoever, take an Uber or whatever, and just get on the boat and go. So excited about it. So that'll be different cruising out of our own city.
It's been wild. It's like a whole new world to me. I just never thought about cruising, and so I really like it, and it's but just too much. I just want to keep it special. And when we say free, it's not free. So I'm like,
it could be free. It could be free.
Yeah, but there's travel to and from. There's all the stuff that adds up. The Ubers, you gotta. I mean, technically you don't have to leave gratuities, but we do anyway. And then there's the gambling budget, so it's like forcing me to play every time. So they're not free. You do pay the taxes and port fees, but the value you get for a couple $100 is quite amazing.
Tom had a comment on here and he said that you should podcast from the ship sometimes.
Yeah, another expense if you get Wi-Fi,
internet package.
I don't know how good it would be. Yeah,
I don't know. I've watched. They're not craps channels, but I do watch some cruising. Guys, and in fact, one of the guys you partnered with one time, what's his name? Lita Luca. Oh shoot.
Okay, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. Big cruise ship channel.
Yeah, a huge channel that you did a little thing with one time, But anyway, yeah, that would be pretty cool. I saw where he actually.
Well, we got to go on one together, maybe, and then we can record it, and then it doesn't have to be live.
All right. Hey, I can.
We got to figure that out.
So
that's the difference. That's what gets me tripped up. So you have an actual schedule.
Yes.
And my schedule is so flexible because I work from home and stuff. So it's like I can hustle and do all my work and cram it into a week, and then leave for a week. So it's a little different. It's not
yet.
That part of it's nice. I had to throw up this comment just because that's a crazy comment.
It's Tony, by the way. Go ahead.
Yeah. He just said he's commenting on top of a frozen lake in North Dakota. And he's ice fishing while listening to our show. So I got to give a shout out to him for listening to the podcast while on the ice fishing. That's
crazy. But you do have your fans on there, and a lot of these guys and people we've met, and then that's awesome. And then I see little Rebecca has jumped on in again. Billy Martin counting on it. Even offered to actually play craps if he keeps taking me. So Rebecca is in the house. You saw that, right?
Yeah.
Boom shakalaka. So there you go. But anyway.
Billy played with me on Freedom of the Seas, I guess. Okay.
Yeah, that's what he's saying. Yeah.
Okay.
That's kind of neat.
But
anyway,
back in June, we had the third ever. Well, I'm actually wearing this is DiceCon #1. Yeah.
Yeah.
The original, and then we had DiceCon 24, which is actually the third annual this summer. So DiceCon always love. And then right about that time, I also started on Sports Grid TV.
Oh wow! Yeah.
So simulcasting essentially my YouTube videos on Sports Grid TV, and they're saying I'm doing like 100,000 an episode over there, 100,000 viewer.
And the time, like you said, wasn't necessarily what some people would consider the prime time, but to get that many views is awesome. And I did check it out on the what do you call it, Sports Grid TV, and I searched it, Sports Grid TV, color up, found you and watched one of your videos. So I am one of the 100,000, but it's kind of neat seeing you on the big screen. Cool. Yeah.
And I finally made my family proud of me. I think I've mentioned this before, but they're like YouTube, whatever. But then they're like, "Oh, we saw him. He's actually on TV."
Yeah.
And now I'm a big deal to them. I'm like, okay.
That's awesome though.
Which is funny because I just take my YouTube videos, chopping them up a little bit, and put them on TV. But I don't know if I can make my family somewhat proud. I'm glad to hear it.
You've done a great job. You've done a great job on that. And then, of course, this is one of the big ones with our Color Up Club people, the Color Up Group Cruise. We talked about it.
I can make an announcement now about that.
Oh, so here we
go. I have it. It is available for my green members. I have my itinerary. I post my cruise dates so anyone can join me.
Okay.
I thought, well, I can't just mention on YouTube because there's, a lot of these ships have one table. You get 20 people. It's not going to work. But even with my green members, I've only had one or two that's ever joined me, just because schedules and working and the timing, and so I think I think that's not an announcement. I guess I'm just thinking through this out loud that I might start listing it to all my club members. I thought it'd be a great perk for green members, and it is. But none of them can join me anyway, so I might move it down to I might move it down to even red membership could see my dates, because I'd love to play with.
But even if you had 20 or whoever, I mean, it's not you don't have to worry about that. Hey, it's not just the craps cruise; it's the Color Up community. It's fun. It's a cruise. There's stuff going on there all the time.
Yeah,
you don't have to worry about guaranteeing a. That's not on you. You don't have to worry about guaranteeing a casino or a spot at the craps table. And like you said, a couple of the bigger ones, some of the bigger ones have two, but it's not your responsibility. I say throw that out the window and just pick a couple of dates.
I think it works because,
there's
always, they usually open, they're not as open as much as the other tables, but they do open late until people want to leave. And I certainly don't stay up that late. I'm usually like midnight, I'm kind of done.
Okay.
Or sometimes even before. So, there's always, in all the cruises I've been on, the tables have always been empty, except for like the big cruises where there's actually two. I think it's just because there's so many. I don't know. I don't know the reasons, but I don't want to talk about cruise anymore.
All right. Moving on.
Too much cruising. We'll move on.
Too much cruising. So,
it has been reflecting.
Yeah,
it has been a big part of my past year, and it will be involved in my new year, so it is worth mentioning.
Okay.
But that's a little reflection, some of the big things that have happened this past year.
So definitely for me, it would have been DiceCon was the highlight of the year for me. I got to meet some old, I don't want to say old club members, but club members who had been to DiceCon before, but people like Justice Jen and then Ken, who's in here, one of our regulars on the podcast, and Tom, and all these folks that are just so fun to hang out with. And but I think that is a huge thing to reflect upon, that you've done it 3 years now. We've done it 3 years, and we've had a blast. And you've got some of the core people who keep coming, and then you got some people who can't come every year. And I think it's just absolutely fun. So to me, that's a great thing, a great accomplishment, and looking forward to whatever happens with it this year. I know you talked
25.
about 25, and whatever. And I'm sure there's already talk about the jerseys and all that, and we'll figure all that stuff out. So great on that. And
I thought of another thing to reflect on.
Okay,
it's right in front of our noses. We started the podcast.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. Jim the Professor joined me as we started the Color Up podcast. So
yeah, and you got 17 episodes on Apple Podcast and the other platforms.
Yeah, we're up to 20 some on YouTube, because we
we're ahead.
Post them here live on YouTube, and it took us a little bit before we started getting them. I guess the word syndicated or through all the podcast platforms or whatever. But as an official podcast, we're on episode 17. On your favorite podcasting app, wherever you like to listen to your favorite podcast player.
And we're powered by SportsGrid. Don't forget
powered by
that.
SportsGrid. Yeah, they help me publish and all that stuff like that.
So I didn't even think about that. The podcast. And I'm a nobody. Jim the Professor's a nobody. I just like hanging out and chit-chatting, and I appreciate it. So, and I told Jeremy, if there's ever any, some great, model or social influencer who needs to step up, I totally understand.
I think my wife would appreciate me sticking with Jim the Professor as opposed to adding a model to my podcast.
I don't know, but just saying, if there is somebody else related with SportsGrid who, is coming out there, I totally understand why you would drop me. Doesn't mean that he hates me or whatever. He's doing it for the business purposes of the.
Don't downplay
podcast.
Yourself. I think you've been a great host. I think our audience would agree.
I
we have good conversation. I like it, and that's how
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. So, but podcast, DiceCon. I love the little meetups that we've had. As far as the little mini meetups with the Virginia guys, I don't get the chance to go to all of them. Again, with the schedule. But I like the little regional meetups, and I'm going to talk more about that when I'm talking about, New Year's goals and ringing in the new year after midnight on things that I want to try to accomplish more of next year. So we'll get to those. But any lows for you this year, Jeremy? Anything that rock bottom, lows or anything, or no?
Wow.
Dramatic pause. Yeah. That was not a skip in the satellite, ladies and gentlemen.
No,
shut them down.
No, I don't. I mean, I just went through a list. I mean, business wise, it's been an amazing year.
Okay.
Yeah, lows. I don't. I mean, no. I mean, I think very beginning of the year, I think I has a couple deaths in the family of people that were very, very close to me.
I do remember that.
I think that was this year. I'm not good with dates and
maybe the end of last year, beginning of this year.
Could have been.
Might have been the year before. But
people that were very close to me. But no, I'm an empty nester for the most part. My last kid's doing college, so
okay.
I guess that's a low and a high.
All right.
I mean, that's why I'm cruising, right? Because
you got time.
Yeah, the one next week we are taking my daughter who's on Christmas break or whatever from college, so we're taking her on a cruise. So, but otherwise, home alone and empty nesters and a new stage of my life. So, I'm pretty good at anything bad that happened. There were some things. I got demonetized for a month. I don't know.
I remember you got stressed out. Yeah, I remember you got stressed out on that for about a week.
Yeah, there was a couple of
about that
bad stuff that just was
with the swipe thing or whatever it was called. Not swipe.
Yeah, my credit card company. They're like, hey, we don't allow gambling, so you can't collect money anymore. There's been some things, but I'm very good at like putting that stuff aside and looking at the positive thing, I guess, which is. I'm more of a pessimist than optimist, but if something bad happens, I am good at like, it happened, put it aside and move forward.
Good job. All right.
I do
enough
stress
about
about future things, but as far as things in the past, I'm good at.
It's like Lion King. It's in the past. Can't do nothing about it, right?
Yeah.
All right. So you ready to dive on in? I know we've been jibber jabbering a little bit. You ready?
We're going to dive into what? So we talked about the past year. Now we're going to roll into the new year?
Into the new year, sir.
Okay. So what does that look like? New resolutions, planning,
all of the above. All of the above. We're putting it all on the table, right? You got to leave it all on the table. So let's talk about the game first. You want to talk about some things about the game before we talk about macro things?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
The game being dice, our
dice,
game that our shows are primarily
dice. On. Okay, so for me, I've kind of buttonholed or pigeonholed myself as a certain type of player.
For sure, right?
Yeah, and I have been known to be the, that come better, and that is the way I've been playing since I started playing, and I am making a New Year's resolution.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Not that there's anything wrong with that. To throw another Seinfeld line out there, but I do think that I need to be sensitive to these other not as strong mathematical ways to play, but close, and maybe give it a shot and try a couple things differently maybe for an entire session. And I'm not saying I'm going to do it at DiceCon, but I will, maybe a session at DiceCon or something, but play a little different than the professor's normal operandi, I guess.
Okay.
And just try something. And, and I know everybody's going to joke, hey, Jim, you just
when you see me run the Dicer.io recaps, sometimes I essentially always show the 3-point Molly with odds.
That's right. And the Dolly.
And if it's a good roll, that one does good, and sometimes it doesn't. So
no, sometimes it bottoms
out. So obviously you're not winning 100% of the time because you're
I'm not.
Play typically.
No.
So you're thinking of branching out. What do you got in mind?
Oh well, I'm intrigued a little bit about the dark side. A little bit.
Okay.
And I'm not going to be one of those guys, but I would play it dark side around the right people. one of my buddies used to always lay the 4 and the 10, that kind of thing, on the come out roll, and just to have a little more action out there or something. But and I'm not, like I said, not all the time, but just to try to give it a shot. Maybe add another, strategy in there besides placing a 6 or an 8, or getting
okay. So
up and
you
going
mentioned
on.
maybe not as mathematically advantaged, but the dark side is actually more so. Well, I mean, if you're doing don't and lay odds.
Yeah. Technically, you're right. Instead of 1, was it 4-1 to
1.41, you're looking at 1.4 or 1.36, depending on how the
So maybe that's not a good example. All right, busted.
the lay bets are, if you're doing a lay bet on the 4 and 10 and the VIGs on the win, you're looking at like 1.5% or something like that. So I don't know.
And what you're demonstrating right now brings me to my next New Year's resolution.
Okay.
Is I want to be as cool as Mr. Color Up, and just like be able to pull that number right out of the hat. No matter what I'm not going to be able to memorize them all, but at least maybe have
a lot of them repeat.
30. I know, top 30. I know in the 5 and the 9 and the 4 and 10 sister numbers. I get all that, but I just want to have each one and just maybe commit to memory the house edge on the top 30 bets at the table. Or
is that just so
like
you could bug people and say, listen, that hardway bet, it's 9%.
No, it's not
or
to bug
it's 11%.
people. No,
okay.
That's just in case somebody says something, and then I can hey, I'm not a professor,
I do this
but
is
I do
because
play
with
one.
odds,
Yeah.
it's 0.8%. Yeah.
With odds, I can lose just as easily as you can with your bad bet, with your bad house edge bet. But yeah, that is one of mine, is to really know the math, and I know some of the the math on my side. So that is definitely one. Focus on memorizing the math.
Okay.
So that's my next one. But you want to go trade back and forth?
Sure. I don't have a lot. Well, this is okay. This one is craps related. I was thinking of more like the things I wrote down were like personal things and
oh wow,
related to the club maybe. But I guess if we're talking about the game itself, and this isn't more for me because I've actually been getting better at this. I have a journal here.
Right.
And I would say I would challenge people as they head into the new year to keep track of their wins and losses.
That's one of my lists. That's one on my
It's a big one that everyone should be doing because we hear from so many people. They're like, "Oh yeah, I win all the time," or I'm you hear these the big names out there that are everyone assumes are professionals. They're not professionals, at least not dice professionals. And to prove me wrong, all they'd have to do is go, hey, let me show you my book, right? But none of us do that, or very few of us do that.
Right.
We don't keep track of it because I think, honestly, most of us don't want to know that this is
even though you don't want to know, everybody knows.
Right. Because certainly I've had winning years. I'm sure other people have had winning years, or you might have a couple or whatever, but if you kept it long enough, or the more you keep track of it, the more you're going to say, this is a very fun hobby that I love, but it is not a profession. I am not, it's not even a side income probably for most of us, but I would say I would challenge people to,
really keep track.
To keep track. It's kind of interesting. I mean, for one thing, if you ever hit, like this past year, I hit a hand pay, my first ever hand pay, right? So they automatically, you get issued a W-2G. You have to give it. Unfortunately, they tell the IRS about it. So I was able to just as easily go, yeah, I won $1,400, but I lost $1,400. It's a wash. I don't owe any taxes on that. $14 hand pay. And you do have to. Not that I got audited, but you do have to, if you ever did, you would have to prove, hey, I did lose $1,400 and therefore I don't have to pay taxes on that slot winning or whatever. Okay. So that part of it is, is worth doing. But overall, I think it's a good idea to be honest with yourself, see that you're winning and losing. It's because most of us as humans, we love to, Oh yeah, I won. I'm pretty sure like last month I walked away with 800, and I had like a $1,500 win. And we don't so much in our mind, like I said before, that I throw away the bad stuff.
Right.
Like we don't go, oh well, that one time I lost 200, and then I lost 3. Oh yeah, that one time when I went with my buddy, I lost 6. We discount those, and we just focus on the wins. So I think it's eye opening if people actually kept track. So I've been doing a good job, at least on my cruises, keeping track. And then for this upcoming new year, even on land base, I'll be sure, hey, keep track. It's simple. Buy in, colored up.
There you go. Yeah. Or
it'll be interesting.
My suggestion is going to be, and I know with our color up community, we have people who put the chips in their hand. I know I do it, and I'll post up, hey, colored up, rolled the ATS or whatever. But
chip porn.
The chip porn or whatever you want to call it. I think what we need to do is put some of the empty hands, or maybe, hey, colored down, or hey, bought a Diet Coke for $250.
It's not as fun. It's not as sexy. Whatever we're like. I went to the casino and I lost it all.
Yeah.
But it's, if we were honest, we would see a lot more of those, and we just don't. And social media is all about the highlights of a life. Very few is about the raw truth.
Although there is that YouTube
the ugly
channel,
underbelly.
That's right. That's what I was getting ready to say. The underbelly. On that one.
Justice Jen says she absolutely keeps track, which makes sense as a lawyer, right? And she says it's ugly for 24, sadly. But the comps do make up for. You can calculate those in if you want to make yourself feel better.
Mm-hmm.
I recommend you don't play for comps. Although that's a little bit hypocritical, because on cruise ships I do absolutely play for comps, but I feel like it's a different
5 cruises.
It's a different cost per value, I think. Whereas I just don't see the value in land based. But there are definitely comps. There's things that they give you, especially as you move.
Like
up.
I said, with me, and I don't know, and I told you before why I think it happened with me, but you've seen my bankroll, you've seen my play, but I just opened up. Hour ago, they had another Caesar's Air thing for me to, with a guest to fly me out to Atlantic City and all. And I was like, you got to be kidding me. I've only played at like 3 Caesar's properties this year. And, and I just, unbelievable. But I guess they're hoping that I get there and,
a lot of times they're a little more generous to newer customers.
Yeah.
And then they're a little more generous to people who, which is weird, but on the other hand, I get it, that don't live in their area.
Mm-hmm.
So me as a Nevada resident, they're like, guy can come anytime he wants. We're not giving him nothing.
Exactly. Yeah.
I hear that from Las Vegas locals. They're like, I don't get nothing, even though I play a lot. But if you live in Nashville or Virginia, they'll be like, oh yeah, here's a flight to Vegas and some more hotels. And not sure why that is exactly, but I do
I'll
get
take
it to a degree.
Yeah, I'll take it. I can't explain it, but I'll take it. And like I was telling you earlier, hey, we've flown down to Biloxi, I think 3 or 4 times now, and it's just been incredible down there. So yeah, I like pretending to be a big shot every once in a while on that one. So what's your next New Year's resolution? And that was number 3 on mine.
Which was
keep track of the wins and losses. Yeah. So my next one for me was, and this one is enjoy the game more. And I don't mean play more. I mean enjoy it more. And what I mean by that is, and Justice Jen and Badger Jim and Thrawn, I saw where he had a comment pop up on our thing a couple minutes ago. I want to get out there, and especially with the guys on the East Coast, it's weird. I feel like sometimes I connect, more often just going once out to Vegas or going down to Biloxi or Cherokee or wherever than I do with some of the guys on the East Coast. And I'm thinking about guys like Jeff at Mid-Atlantic Craps, Old Bay Craig, Greg with Old Bay. Let's see. yeah, I just need to make time to go play with them. I've been saying, hey, I want to get up there and play with you guys. Hey, I want to get up, and I get, again, it goes back to the schedule, but that's my resolution is I hope to be able to get up there hopefully before the end of the summer to get up with some of these East Coast guys who are part of the Color Up Club and bigger bigger craps community that's out there as well. So that's one of mine. Get out there and enjoy it with some people that I've gotten to know on the internet, and I like to meet in person.
Yeah, I would probably say jump onto that. And I mentioned in my latest club newsletter that I'm going to get out to Biloxi this year.
Awesome.
I don't have a date, but I definitely want to get out. And as I mentioned, now that I'm an empty nester, unless my schedule's full of cruises, I should be able to get out to some places. So, hit up Biloxi, and then maybe I can make it out to the East Coast.
It's hard to be you.
Just to spread the love around.
That's right.
And I want to experience them. I've been to a lot of cool places.
You're going to love Biloxi.
I've heard I'm not going to love Atlantic City so much.
I don't. Now,
like it used to be the thing, right, back in the day, but people, I hear a lot that it's kind of lost its luster a little bit. I'm still intrigued because there's still quite a bit of history there.
That's
and
right.
Things related to gaming. But I've been to some really cool places, Deadwood, and a lot of these places out west, and I just haven't experienced much in
the Middle Eastern side,
yeah.
Southern side anyway. But yeah, I think we need to get you out to Cherokee. I think that would be a wonderful thing. And in Virginia, we just opened up another one on the western side of the state, out in Danville, and that's a Cherokee, Caesar's property with Cherokee ties to it. And that
as long as it's not $25, I have a personal ban on that. So
yeah.
And I know that happens a lot, unfortunately, for you East Coast people.
Yeah, sometimes, especially I would think the farther north you go, but maybe catch them in the morning, that type of thing. It could happen. And by the way, if anybody's watching this, I'm sitting in my son's chair, so I feel like it's one of these lean back chairs, and I would never sit this way. I respect our audience too much. I'm not that cool to be leaning back and talking and that kind of stuff. But anyway, I thought I'd throw that in for anybody. I know that means nothing to anybody listening on the Apple
Well,
podcast.
I'll throw in things I keep on itch. My nose itches for real bad. It's not like I have an addiction problem or something like that. But, it itches. So now that we're getting weird stuff out of the way.
Yeah. Just knock it out. Knock it out there. So the next one that I had on there was I want to all these people on our dice cord and all. We've got some great names with them. I want to know everybody's dice cord and their real names.
Ooh,
so that way when
that.
I know it's hard. Just in our Color Up community alone, it's hundreds of members that are there, and some of them get on dice cord and some of them don't, and then you meet some and and it's just like I just want to know everybody. And as a school teacher, that's the school teacher in me. You want to know every kid in the classroom and connect with everybody, and it. Sometimes it's a little bit futile, I think, when I don't know how you do it with 100,000 people. You throw a video up and then and you got all these comments and hey, Color Up, talk to me about this. It's just the numbers just get away until you get your sports grid team working for you and you've got your people underneath you. But yeah, it's pretty tough. Yeah,
a lot of people I know in our Discord, well, not a lot, but some have, like I do. So I write Color Up username
right.
and then parentheses my real name, which is a little helpful. Not everyone does that, but then the problem is then on YouTube they have a whole nother screen name, and to match them, it is what it is. So a lot of times, I give my blanket apology, but people they talk to me on Discord or they talk to me on YouTube or try to continue conversation. I'm like, wait a second. Who is this? Who am I talking?
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I don't know who you are. I'm like, such and such. Like, okay. Yeah.
Or if somebody gets a new name. I got to make the
connections.
Yeah. If they get a new name, that's
right.
That's really tough.
Yeah, it happens all the time. They're like, and I was this, and now I'm not. Now I'm, Twinkle Toes or whatever. Like, okay. Well,
it's tough. it's tough to know all the names. So that's one of my goals. Is
I like the goal though.
To the intent is going to be there. Get it in there and make sure, who I'm talking to is who I think I'm talking to.
Yeah, I know.
And when I see him next year, I'll be able to do that. But I think spending time, at the table is cool. And try to play with as many different people. Maybe that could be a goal. I know that's one of your goals. You want to try to, meet as many people as you can at DiceCon and everything. And I like to, I've got my buddies that I hang around with, and if my wife comes, we've got those connections. But, when we go do our, different events, or if we do a casino crawl, or if we, you've got reserved table, I like to play with a lot of different kinds of people. And meet with them and get to know their names. So that's just one of my little goals.
That's actually is one of the things that I did write down is one way to do that. I want to get in the Discord more. We used to do a lot more fantasy crafts, but I'm thinking, a lot of people are enjoying, and I've held this off forever. A lot of people have been enjoying the Crapsy thing.
Yes.
Where it's an app and you can use a code so everyone can play at the same table. Mm-hmm. And then maybe I turn on my camera and I roll it out on my
turns
on my table.
Yeah,
and people can bet together, and it's kind of a good way to interact with people. So I think I'm probably going to start doing that. I don't know if I'll do a regular schedule, but I definitely do want to do that more.
Maybe if you did like one for every 6 cruises, I think your community would really appreciate it, Jeremy.
I think it should be the other way around, but I definitely do want to hop in the community more, and maybe I'll do it through Crapsy. I've waited, trying to look for a better alternative. It doesn't seem to be, and they seem to be continually updating, and other channels have been enjoying it. I don't think I'll do it live on YouTube, but I think maybe
we could do it with the Color Up podcast. I mean, we could. That if you did it,
we add it to the Monster Roll. So, which if people who don't know, Monster Roll, we've brought up a couple comments, but we see the comments, but mostly we try to we'll do it live to the end. And how that works is from the podcast, I'll probably cut it unless it's really great conversation. But we will get to everyone's comments. We'll go back and reread them or whatever. It gets more audience integrated during our Monster Roll, which is after our main theme. Although that is one thing I think I'm still considering and doing is making a live call-in show. I still might.
You'd mentioned that. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah, take a couple live calls and maybe they go nowhere. Maybe we have to hang up on people as they try to say Baba Booey. I don't know if you know what that means, but
Baba Booey. No, I don't. I'm not that cool.
Howard Stern reference.
Okay.
A lot of their callers and stuff would
say bad things.
They would say literally Baba Booey, which is like a nickname or something for the show's producer or whatever. But
okay.
Anyway,
not a Stern guy, but that's okay.
Neo got it. At least one of her.
Thank you, Neo. I don't know. I'm an old guy. I'm 57.
I'm an old guy too. That's where it comes from. He was big back in the...
but I'm an old guy. I didn't have satellite radio for a while,
well, that's what I haven't listened to him since we went to satellite. I listened to him back in the old day when he was on regular radio.
The Big Monster, and he was syndicated and on. I get that, but I always got to work early, so I never had the the morning drive.
I'm not
time.
buying these excuses again. I think he came on like at 4 a.m. He was an East Coast guy. I think I quit listening to him around 9/11. Right, I remember that episode of the Howard Stern Show. But so that was 2001. So I probably listened through the late 90s. Would go to work like 4 a.m., 5 a.m., 6 a.m.
Okay,
maybe
I was listening to music, but anyway, I missed the Howard Stern.
He was not everyone. He was a little crude.
Yeah,
for sure. And then he got even more crude. He was a shock jock, and he got worse, I think, when he went to satellite radio. But anyway.
Absolutely. Okay.
Gary Delabate. Yeah. Baba Booey. Anyway, it's probably not a good thing to listen to. I don't know. Whatever. Okay. Anyway, moving on.
So, what else did you
The resolution was I was going to interact with my club members at least more through maybe
Crapsy.
using Crapsy or something. And then, maybe
And
we talked about the monster roll and maybe taking some live calls.
And I do agree with that. And I saw some reference in there to some other people. And I know watching people practice on YouTube is not your cup of tea. You don't do it. You don't wish anybody harm or whatever. It's just you're not going to watch people roll the dice and all. But as far as building a little sense of community, I really enjoy Hawaiian Crap Shooters and Jeff with Mid-Atlantic and some of those guys and Old Bay, and really have a good time. And they do a crapsy thing, and you play off the rolls. And then Demon Dog Chris with our own Color Up community, he'll go, sometimes he'll go live, or we'll jump in the Discord or whatever, and we'll be rolling. We'll all take turns rolling, and we'll see everybody's screen, that kind of thing. And that might be something we can do more of.
The only real drawback, and I wish I could have worked out some sort of deal or something, but it's like another cost. So like, I don't know what they are, $5 a month or something like that. So it's like another thing. Hey, buy this other app so you can play with me, on top of a Color Up Club membership. It's just, I didn't want to get into that, but a lot of people like it and have it anyway. So it is what it is.
And what we would do is
your arm.
Yeah, we would live deal on the table. So we had some folks, club members.
You can keep track of it yourself if you want. If you didn't want to join and have it digitally show up on the leaderboard.
Mm-hmm. You don't have to do all that. So,
anyway.
Yeah.
What else you got? Anything else for a resolution?
Let's see. You got Crapsy. Memorize the names. You got play with the East Coast guys. I've got, that's the 7 that I had on my off the top of list on there. We hit them all. So I hit them all on there. So,
good stuff. As far as goals for the year, I hit so many of them this past year, and I'm not great. Like I mentioned before, I'm not great at goal setting. But just some of the things, I mentioned that I would like to do: get out to Biloxi, get out to different places. But I don't really have any upcoming goals. Mm-hmm. I don't know. It's not like I'm going to hit a big milestone number on YouTube or anything again.
I don't know.
So I don't know. I'd love to see the podcast grow. There was reasons I didn't want. I had to remove it from my main channel, but it's almost like a new audience, which I'd love to see some
very faithful audience and regular people that are on here.
So I guess the first goal would be 1,000 subscribers on the
baby steps
on the Color Up Podcast YouTube channel.
Oh yeah.
And
so, how about this one? As far as, do you have any goals as far as the amount of times you will play craps in a year? You ever have any thoughts on that? What is the big determinant other than your old bankroll? What is the big determinant about when you play?
Well, for most people, I would say it's access. I'm very lucky that I live in Reno. I have access to a large number of casinos. So when there's lots of competition, I've got great rules, great low limits even available to me.
Mm-hmm.
So access is not the problem. And part of that is purposely, I don't want to become a person who's there, a couple times a week.
Okay.
I don't want to develop a problem, nor could I probably afford to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Because we've both preached this, as much as we love this game, this is a long-term losing proposition.
Zero sum.
The more I play, the more it's going to hurt me financially. So I pretty much reserve it now to either it's a meetup with club members or the cruises. I'm always obviously playing, but it is a rare situation where I'm like, you know what? I think I'm going to go down to the J Resort or the Peppermill or wherever and just play. I'm not a huge gambler, I guess, is bottom line. I run a gambling channel.
Which is
and my career is all about gambling, and I'm not a big gambler.
one of the most ironic things
Yeah.
about you. Is that
Obviously, there are some channels you follow on YouTube, and you could tell they are real gamblers because they're talking or they're live streaming,
Oh
or
my
showing the
gosh.
chips they won, and they certainly are. Even if they're not showing live play, they're there at the casino all the time, and that's just not me. I built my channel on showing strategies from my home studio, so I think people know that. People know I'm a low roller. I film in casinos when I can, which is just not that often. But yeah, so I don't, as much as I love the game, I don't just go play it for fun every week. It's just not.
Just not a
in
thing.
my makeup, not my nature. Part of it is because I've as a family man, it's always like family first. So any budget, gambling is the last thing I should be doing as a family person. That's just me personally. I would not even budget to a lot, $200 a month for my gambling. Not when I have kids. Like it just wasn't a thing. So things have probably changed a little bit now. I probably will. And this year, part of one of the resolutions is I'm going to really, after the new year, hit up the local casinos and be like, hey, you really want me filming in your casino? It's for your own marketing purposes. It'd be great for business, I think, and great for me. But then I would kind of be forced, to play weekly or whatever the schedule might be.
If they let you film.
Yeah,
at a live table.
Right, but am I going to play by myself without filming? Probably not. Like I'd rather, I'll do it if I can have a camera on it and it makes sense. But yeah, I'm as much as some people that might be news to. I am not a gambler at heart.
Okay. So try to get into a casino, make a deal to get in there and play a little bit.
Yeah, if they'll let me film, then I can share with everyone.
You can justify.
Invite people. Yeah. Hey, come on out. Or Tuesday nights here, we're playing. Yeah, then I would absolutely do it as much as they'd let me. But yeah, there you go. Does that answer your question? I guess.
Yeah, it does. I guess that's when you play. With me right now, it's pretty much I play with my buddies. I have a casino back home with a 10-minute drive from my house, and it's going on 2 years. No, it's over 2 years now. Going on 2 years. I've been 3 times. Twice with my uncle, and then once with my buddy Greg over there. And I just don't have A, the bankroll, or B, the desire. And I never ever want to be a regular anywhere like that. I just would have no desire. I'd rather save my money up to, go play at DiceCon, save my money up to go to Cherokee, save my money up to go to Biloxi, that kind of thing.
I think that's one of the reasons why DiceCon has been so successful, is because that's the case for a lot of people. Like if they're going to take one trip, they could save up for, they know it's happening. They could play with like-minded people that aren't jerks, so they love DiceCon for that reason. It's like, hey, I can save up 1,000 or whatever it is that they save up for, get out there with other friendly people, and it is my once a year, opportunity or whatever
Splurge
to play.
to go out.
So it gives kind of like a destination and a point to play. So, yeah, I think that's really cool. And, as hopefully we have more regional stuff. Yeah.
I love the idea of having, wingman, in a place like Sin City or whatever that's out there, that are some good people that are out there that, that, hey, if you need to go to the restroom or whatever, they're not going to, steal your chips or whatever, which I've seen that happen. I don't know if you've ever seen somebody like go to the restroom or whatever, and then somebody walk up and just steal the chip. Yeah. And it was big money too. It was big money. But yeah, it's sad as it can be. But I do love the community on that. Yeah, response. Here's Justice Jen. That's the term. We had the big what was it, Mr. Z, his son, on there. And
yeah, that was a great episode.
A great episode, and there was a definite dark side that you can get out of hand, and I've never been out of hand, and I hope I never do. But I do know that there's a temptation to, oh my God, I've done this, and then I got to win it back or whatever. No, you don't.
Yeah,
it's tough.
I think all the, the people who study this stuff says 1%.
Yeah,
which is not an insignificant number, but you think about it, and that's that 1% becomes real problem gamblers where it wrecks their life. It's not like, I do it a lot, and sometimes money's tight or whatever. This is like, no, they lost their home, divorce, so 1% gets totally wrecked. So there's probably another 5-10%. It's probably a problem.
Yes.
And they don't have the money to be doing this, or, I don't know what the number is. I just pulled that out of my rear end, but
no, I think the 1%, I think
the 1% is an accurate number of people who will ruin their lives with this.
Right.
But there are probably another percentage that don't fall, that probably, you shouldn't be. It's probably a little more problem in your life than you're admitting. I guess I'll put it that way. What that number is, they don't say really, or not. I don't know.
Or who knows what it is.
Yeah, who knows what it is. But so let's keep. Yeah, for us, it's not going to be a problem. I don't think, just because of our nature and whatever. But
no, and again, we have wives. We have wives, so we're lucky
helps.
on that.
keep us on our track and stuff like that. So.
Well, any other things that you can think on, either looking forward, looking back, that you want to get in as we come up on the hour before we head into the monster roll on this one?
No, I just, not a goal setter again, but I'm always surprised every year as I've been doing this. It's just been an awesome ride, and I'm sure there's things I haven't thought about that are going to happen in this upcoming year. That is going to be a surprise, and it's going to be fun, whether it's part of the Color Up Club community or podcasts or the channel. It always opens new avenues of something. Something always is happening as a result of just sticking to this hobby that I've been talking about for so many years. So yeah, I guess I look forward to the unknown, I guess.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm looking forward to hanging out and doing whatever I can to be a small part of it, and I'm glad that you allow me to do so. And it's a hoot. And again, even with our community that we have on the Color Up one, it is it's nice, and we have a very loyal core group. So we want to say thank you for all you guys and gals that are out there who've been a part and been with us from the beginning, and for you Apple people and the general podcast, welcome, and we love you guys too, and hopefully it will continue to grow, and hopefully we did justice to the Seinfeld episode about nothing. And
this episode is a little different. Normally we always try to have a topic and a point that we're talking about, but this one was just we're kind of bouncing around a little bit about our lives and bouncing around and just talking and having fun. So
no episode next week. No episode next week.
No, I'm going to take another break just because
because you're going on a cruise
again. Yeah. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah,
I don't think I'll be playing for points this time. I think I'll just be playing for fun.
Playing for money.
Play for money, which is a different mindset. So just because I got my schedule's too full of cruises, I got to slow down. As much as my wife doesn't want to hear that, I got to slow down. So thank you for being a part of the episode. And Jim, it's been a great year. Look forward to a new year.
Awesome. Me too.
All right, let's go ahead and somehow when I go to edit, I always trying to find a spot. Okay, this is where I chop it off before the midnight roll, or not the midnight roll.
Yeah, the episode was Midnight Rolls Ringing in the New Year.
The Monster Roll.
The Monster Roll,
which is one of our viewers gave us the name for. The Monster Rolls when we get to our viewers. And we get to all the questions and comments now. So if you have a new question, comment, Jim usually goes through the old ones.
Yep. I'll go to the top and you go to the bottom.
We are free to answer anything you want to ask personally about the show, about the channel. We will get to your question.
By the way, could anybody hear the train going by? Could you hear it?
I didn't hear any train.
Okay.
No.
My son lives, I don't know, 20 parking spaces from a major train line that just went by. It was
Shooter Crap says, how are you going to play for fun? What strategy? So, two things. I will probably be doing some sort of hedging strategy as opposed to just a pure light side strategy. Just because although I will be playing for fun, it's not like when I go to a local casino, I'm going to play for 2 hours. Because in those cases, I don't hedge. I pick a strategy and just, hope that the dice go in my favor. On the cruise, I do know that although I'm not going to be stressed and trying to
get points,
I'm not worried about points, so I don't have to play big for long periods of time. I'm a captive audience, and I will be playing probably every night. So multiple sessions. I don't want to run out of my bankroll, so I will probably do some sort of hedge play. I like the one that I did last time, which was $40 lay bet on the 10, 44 inside. And then if a number hit, I would regress a number. So now then I only got 3 numbers. If I hit again, then I would pull down my lay bet and my bets were paid for.
Okay.
So like kind of 2 hits and my bets were paid for. I'd remove the lay, and the lay didn't completely cover all my money, but it did, if I got 1 hit and pulled down a number. So kind of a little bit of hedge, which protects me against, these 4 and 5 rolls, and does give me a little opportunity. If there is a big roll, I got 3 numbers working for me with no risk. So I'll probably play something like that. I might figure out some way to get my wife involved and just test out like her playing like a $50 pass and me like a $100 don't.
Okay.
And if we do establish a point, then I can also do another $50 on the numbers. So essentially we got $100 light side and $100 dark.
And that way you're not stressing and working the dealer, all on your side. You can say, hey, she's playing this way. Don't blame me. It's my wife.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to tell them that we're doing team play, but hopefully we can both earn a little bit of points, and, it is a built-in hedge because, when I lose, she wins, and vice versa. So my hope is, and she was open to it a little bit, and I'm hoping to actually get her to approach a table. And that would be nice and easy for her. $50 on the pass and just watch. She might get bored of it real quick, but which is good because then I'm like, hey, now it's time to play some more stuff than just the pass line. But if she can just go $50 on the pass and just let it resolve, it'll be good, I think.
Oh my
I'd love
God,
to get her at the table with me.
This chair is killing me, Jeremy. I know we're on the monster roll, but people, I don't normally make faces like this when people are talking, but the chair is like leaning back. Oh no, there goes the mic. It's just terrible.
Just didn't hear the train.
Oh, good, that's good. Thank you.
Keep up the good content. Thank you.
Oh, that's nice on that one.
208 Craps out. Thank you. Evening. Yeah. Just got back from the Browns game. What did I miss? Oh.
How'd the Browns do, by the way?
I think they got a field goal.
Okay.
I think the final score was like 20-3 or something like that.
Okay.
It was, pretty embarrassing.
Shep's again he went to the DiceCon first time this past year and got a chance to hang out with him.
What was he doing at the Miami Browns game though?
I think he's on your side. He's a Cleveland guy on that side.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Yeah, he's not Miami. I don't think he's Miami. I think he's from your side if I remember talking to him.
Okay.
Over there, and I certainly do. And then we met him at the airport.
No, there's not a video for the Strat. I've made similar, but it's.
I guarantee you somebody's got something that's similar. Brian's probably got one, whether it be light and darkness or whatever.
I mean, that's literally all it was. It was $85 action because it was, $40 for the lay with a $1 VIG, so 41 plus 44 inside. If I hit a number, like I roll one of the inside numbers, I'd pull down the 9.
Okay.
So now I only have 34 at risk. I've collected 14 profit. If the lay hits, I get paid, or the 7 rolls, then I get paid 20 plus my 14 I've collected. That's 34. I've only got 34 at risk.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
break even.
Yeah, you go.
I lose the $1 VIG. So one hit and you break even. And then if I hit another number, I've collected 28. I'll just remove the lay. Now I've got 28 collected. I do have 34 at risk, so my biggest risk is $6. But I got 3 numbers working for me, and then from there I'll just press or do whatever.
There you go.
So
There
it's
you
a
go.
pretty simple strategy, and I just, it's cheaper to do a don't pass or don't come. I just hate when I get knocked off on those suckers, and I
It
feel
drives
like
me
I got
nuts when I've
I
done
got
it
a better
few
chance
times.
with the lay. I
Yeah.
feel like I have a little more control over it because it's like, you know what, as long as I can avoid the 10, I always lay the 10. And some people you could bet the hard way too and get it.
Combinations.
Yeah,
That's
you bet the hard
all.
way. Now it's only 2 combos, so
Yeah,
I kinda
there's
prefer that.
only 36.
problem with that don't
combinations.
come and that don't pass is that first roll.
Yeah.
There's 6
Sweating.
ways to lose. That's
Yeah.
8 way. 8 ways to lose. With the
Yeah,
7
you're
and the
sweating on the
11.
first one. After that, you got the advantage.
Yeah, then you're fine. But
Yeah. That's true.
So anyway, that's why I kind of prefer the lay. Now, like Holy Rollers, he does the opposite. He feels like he always gets knocked off his lay bet. But I'm like, it's 2-1. So if I get knocked off my lay bet, or I don't for 2 times for every 1 time I do, I'm cool with that.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. Anyway, season tickets. Okay.
Woo! Congratulations.
Okay, here's what. See, this is the problem we're talking about. It used to be JR22, which I remember. Name is Joel, and now he's 208 Craps, which is great.
Okay.
And it looks like
Thank you.
his thing is that Idaho? Anyway, but so that's people change their names and stuff.
Yeah. But thank you, Joel. Yeah. Hey, I'm
Have
Joel.
you been winning with the light and the darkness? I feel like those strategies mostly tie or lose for me. Yeah, my very first cruise, it worked out for me. I actually won a profit, won the cruise. The 2 or 3 times after that, I've not won. I've lost $500 or $600. I've had some winning nights, but over the span of a week, light and the darkness hasn't get me into profit. It has always won me a ton of points though, for $500. If I played normal, I don't think I would have got anywhere near the points for $500. So for me, paying $500 for cruise.
Would you
not
play
too bad.
Light and Darkness at a regular casino, land
No.
base? No.
I don't. It's too much upfront cost.
A lot of risk up front, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and it
Get knocked off on that DP.
yeah, and it's just it makes sense if it's pretty decent for time at table. I mean, for the times you do get knocked off, you should win. But I don't know. It's again, there's no perfect strategy, and it hasn't. For me, it hasn't been a money winner, but it has done its job, earning lots of points. Because normally I am never putting $200 out on the table, and with that strategy, at least it does allow me to.
I just want to throw this one out. Badger Jim jumped on there earlier. He's one of our big club members and always one of the first people to greet people in Discord whenever there's
Badger's
a new
great.
member. And he's awesome, guys. I did want to say that, in spite of him being a Cowboy fan. We all got our problems, right?
Note that you don't have to play hard at every cruise. The free offers just keep coming. That's good to
Yes.
know. I haven't really taken one off, but I think I will kind of mix it up. I did see in one of the groups that they do require you to maintain. They reserve the right to stop giving you offers unless you maintain 200 points. But I can get 200 points really easy, even if I just play 6 and 8. Over
If you
7
drop a
days.
napkin on the casino floor, you'll get 200 points, man. Come on now.
Well,
Yeah.
that's 10 hours at $20.
All right. Now, Becca jumped in there. You saw this comment earlier. Where was it? She said, he told me no more,
Yeah,
Was that
I did tell her.
for the cruises? Did you
Yeah,
make that
yeah.
statement publicly? No more
Yeah.
added or no more period.
No, well, it started off like maybe no more, and then I'm like, well, maybe every other month, and I'm still like, that's like 6. That's crazy. And then I'm like quarterly, and then I'm like, we'll see. She kind of, in her head, she's like, oh, you're telling me none ever again. I'm like, well, maybe we'll see.
You got to work that out with the
Yeah,
boss
we'll figure
lady,
it out.
man. Yeah. Okay.
Thanks for doing it. Let's see. Are you guys going to try the Jacob way to play DP plus place bets, wins, feed the don't pass on current? Yeah, it's essentially light in the darkness, except for it's a growing don't pass.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's as far as hybrids go, it's pretty good.
Growing don't pass. That's a nice way to say it. This one here, and she also was asking about Mediterranean or British Isles. You down for that?
Yeah, so the plan is...
He's already got a plan for a guy who's not going to cruise anymore. He's got another plan.
Well,
across the pond.
As a prime, once you hit 2,500 points, on April 1st, you get a certificate to any 7-day or less cruise that they offer. Okay. They do a couple blackouts, like they're brand new ships, whatever, but they say the list is huge, and essentially anything you want to do is on the table, as long as 7-day or less. So I figure with that one, I will probably do like the Greek Isle or something very exotic with that one.
Okay.
And it'll show up on April 1st, and I'll get to choose. Or I'm thinking about doing the one to Japan. I think that one might be really cool. But with those are like, to earn that would be like on a cruise at, I don't know, 5,000 points or something like that. But, I should get it on April 1st as a Prime member, and then I'll probably choose something exotic. So again, then I'll do that maybe in the summer or late fall this year, I guess. I don't know.
All right.
But yeah, I definitely do want to. I'll do something a little more exotic, I guess.
All right. For a guy who's trying to get out of cruising, that's
not get out of completely.
Not get out. Slow down.
Yeah,
slow
I
down.
don't like the I gotta grind for points. I gotta grind for points. Mm-hmm. I'm just going to kind of mix it up. When I need points, I'll get points, and otherwise I'll just kind of play for fun.
Mm-hmm. Let's see.
Adventures by Gunner Man. Crap's absolutely more fun when you have a buddy to play next to. Yep. Playing with all strangers just isn't that fun, especially when people especially dealers are rude. Yeah.
100%.
Dealers can make or break the experience for you, for sure.
100% on that. I won't play with the jerk butts. It just, even if I've traveled, I won't, I'll wait them out. I'll go do something else. 100% with you on that. That's why I love the good people. Because when you go to a place like Vegas or wherever you're going to go, you're like, man, is everybody a scuzzball? Aren't there some good people who play this game? And there are.
Yeah,
there are out there. You just got to find them.
I think of Color Up as a teaching channel. Yeah, so I show a lot and I teach a lot, but I'm not. What was the one guy you mentioned to me? He's like only been YouTubing for like a month or two, and he's just blown up.
Oh, Mark the Point? You talking about?
No.
But he's
he's always in casinos, and he shows like, I just
big
blew
money.
$5,000.
Yeah,
I won
big money.
and people love that.
Oh yeah,
but that's just not me. I'm like she said. I'm a teacher. If you want to learn stuff,
I guarantee you, it's
see new strategies.
Yeah,
but if you want to follow along with big money players, you go somewhere else. It's just not what I am. So.
Yeah, no. Let me find it on here.
Oh man, I forget what his name is, but yeah, he's just like blown up. He's doing a great job.
Somebody will tell us. Yeah, he's killing it. He's a younger guy. Here it is. I'm sitting there looking at one of his things right now. Let me see. Whoops. Let me hit it. It's Bluff and Bob. Yeah. Bluff.
Yeah, young gentleman. Yeah.
Young guy and his.
Jen said her wife barely plays and she gets free interiors. She doesn't even visit the casino once during the last cruise and still offers. Yeah. I mean, at some point they may shut you up, but yeah, I think I can take breaks. They would be dumb to just like, oh, no more cruising, right? Because as we know, the free ones aren't free, so they want me
prepaid. That's what we call it. Yeah.
Does your points accumulate on each cruise? If you got 200 points on the one cruise and 300 on another, will you have 500 points total on your account? Yes and no. So there's two different things. It's you can earn tier status For instance, the first tier is Prime. It's called Prime. I'm talking about Royal Caribbean because that's my only experience. So each one accumulates. Like I think I won 1,500 on my first, then 1,200, and then 1,000. So once you get to 2,500 points total, you get Prime, and so I can take out a marker without paying a 5% cost, because normally they charge you 5% if you don't bring cash to the table. You get free drinks in the casino. There's a couple things like that you get once you hit Prime. You get that once a year cruise list.
Yeah.
So that is an accumulative 2,500 points to hit
the
Prime.
Free cruise is different. To get
but when you earn a certificate, that is per cruise. So like they'll go, I think the minimum's 1,200 to earn a little bit of a list. And then if you earn 1,500 on that cruise, you get a bigger list. If you earn 2,000, 5,000, 10,000 on that cruise, you get a huge list.
Big one. Okay.
But you have to redeem it there. So that restarts every cruise. But, if you earn 10,000 on this one and then 15,000 on the next, you've got 25,000, and then you're closer to, I don't even know. I don't even bother
whatever
to look.
the highest level or next.
Yeah,
to
I know
highest,
there's Prime. That's all I'm ever going to reach in a year. I think the next one's like 10,000 points. I don't know. I'm never going to get there. I've never really looked or cared.
Our buddy Brian put out a
Brian
video.
would know.
Yeah, and
he's
put out a
probably
video,
achieved it.
and there's a special ceremony or dinner. They have recognition, once you get up to that level.
Yeah, so the different perks, but those are tier that do accumulate. But when you're talking about certificates, you can earn that per cruise or per visit. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then we had our buddy Ken said hello earlier. I know he's one of our big listeners there on there. I'm still working down from the top.
I'm still at the end. Japan is like 12 days. Yes. Goes to Seattle and through Alaska. Yep.
Oh, wow. So you could get Alaska and Japan on the
It depends.
same
Like
cruise?
I've seen one that goes from like Vancouver,
Okay.
the Seattle, or some of them go just straight over and then hit a couple spots down Japan. There's a couple, a little different. Bluff and Bob. Yep. Bluff must have catastrophic losses. I don't know. I don't know if I don't watch him that much. I've seen a couple of things, but I don't know if he shows wins and losses or.
Yeah, he does. No, it's not all wins all the time. He shows some losses there too. I would say there's more winning videos that he puts out, but hopefully he's winning more. But it's big money, high stakes, and
Bluff
it's
is fun to watch.
Very, very engaging there on that one. And let's see. And then,
where he says on Carnival points do not accumulate from cruise to cruise. Each cruise starts over from zero.
That's
so they must not have like a tier to reach.
Yeah, maybe not. I'll find out because I'm going on Carnival one there.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm also a new club member and was wondering if there are regional meetups. I'm in Rochester, New York, and I'm hoping to meet other members. I don't have anything that I schedule. I've not been good about that, but there is
They're
section.
Organic. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're organic.
We call them concierge service, and there's like Northeast, Mid-Atlantic, Southeast, Midwest, Southwest, and there's a map. So you find out where you're at. I'm guessing you're in the Northeast, and just go in that channel, introduce yourself, say, hey, I'm going to the casino here, or is anyone going
Anybody
to the casinos?
going? Yeah.
Just start up conversation with other club members, and before you know it, you'll have yourself a regional meetup.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's probably the best place to do it is in Discord.
Sometimes even a meetup is just one or two guys. Like sometimes I'd run up to Dover
But even two guys is better than by yourself.
Oh,
right?
yeah, exactly. So we'd have a couple, 3 guys meeting up there.
Bluff makes good YouTube money.
Yeah, well, I'm happy to hear that because.
Because he has done some like I'm gonna blow my YouTube.
I've seen
check,
that.
and it's like $1,000 or whatever.
Right.
But he's like I said, blown up in tens, and he's doing way more views than I am per video. So that's how you get paid, a lot of views, and he's getting a lot of views. So happy New Year's, folks. Next cruise for me is January 16th. Joe, this is kind of a
way to go.
The theme has kind of been cruising, but that's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Hey, it's craps and cruising seem to go together. Yeah. Yeah.
Something I never even knew about a year ago. It's so funny.
And then Billy said he just joined his green, and you need to, that's one of the perks that you can go on there and find out where Jeremy's going to be or when he's going to be, and you don't have to wait to the Sunday before he goes out on a cruise to find out where he's going.
Yep, I have the dates posted there, and they're pinned to the top.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. And then Ken already, I agree with you on this one, that DC DiceCon 25 is going to be awesome. And it's not even January yet, and I'm already excited about it. And
yeah,
I'm already scamming on my plane ticket. Going to be booking my airfare for it too.
It's June, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesdays, the official dates. A lot of people come before and after, but I try to make it as cheap as possible. So weekdays, the week after Father's Day. So I don't have the dates in front of me, but that's later in June.
Mm-hmm. Let's say. And then here's one from earlier.
I overrode you.
Ahead. Yeah, you go ahead. You're the boss,
Jen says,
man.
I'm taking my housekeeper on a cruise in January, her first one. She can't afford to do it herself. Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, it is a way
nice,
too. Like,
Jen.
I want to get like my wife to earn some points because then we could take other people. Because then we, if we match, if we both want a room, we can invite guests, and that's a cool way to do it.
That's right. Yeah,
but it is.
That would be cool.
Cruising, I mean, it is expensive if you can't afford it. But if you're kind of a gambler and you get these free cruises, it becomes a really cheap vacation, all-inclusive vacation. So, yeah, my eyes have been opened, and so that is a really cool gift or idea to to take along other people,
especially a housekeeper, because that's somebody who doesn't probably have the big discretional income. They're going to enjoy it so much, being pampered and all. But I did want to throw this one up there. Jonathan said he's heading to Vegas for the first time ever in 10 days. Can't wait.
Wow.
Staying at Mandalay, hoping he can find a table for less than 25.
No problem.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But, I mean, at Mandalay?
Yeah.
Probably in the morning, right? What
Mandalay Bay might only be $25 on the weekend.
Really?
Yeah. They're in between. They do a pretty good job of keeping. I mean, they'll be 15 for sure.
In the morning.
Certainly, you could take that tram to Excalibur or Luxor and probably get $10. If you go in the morning. If you're not on the weekend. Yeah, you get, and then you can go across the street to go to Oyo. I mean, it's not the greatest environment, but you could probably get $5 craps. And there are places, and things are coming down a little bit. So you'll see less and less 25, more 15s. Yeah, lots of 10s. So
and
have an awesome
want to get
time.
there
That's
to Ellis.
so cool.
Yeah, I'm excited
First
for you.
time in Vegas.
Yeah, and definitely go to Ellis Island, and that's kind of a small little place, and then hit up the downtown, definitely on that one. And SJ,
you definitely want to check out downtown.
Yeah, SJ said hey earlier, and it's always good to see him, one of our great club members, and super dice thrower as well.
So do you officially save up a certain amount for DiceCon, Molans, et cetera? People do. I know, Jim, you have your cans for cash or what?
Trash for cash, Jeremy.
Trash for cash. I apologize.
So just so everybody knows, I go around, I listen to podcasts. I have a little Fitbit on my thing. From my school system provides me an incentive to where I can get $125 per quarter knocked off my health insurance in the form of cash. So I take that, the knowledge that I get from walking around the health benefits, and then go ahead and pick up aluminum cans, which I convert that trash into cash. And I use that for my long shot high house advantage bets, a.k.a. the ATS. And last year I got lucky on the first night of DiceCon, hit it. So I was very, very happy with that. So, yeah. So people
to be honest, for it. So every year my budget has only been about $500, which
for the week?
For the week.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you probably didn't know that, but a little different because I don't play as much. You might notice that a lot of times I'm like, oh, no, you guys go ahead and play. And I do a lot of meeting and greeting and
glad
And
hand
so
and everything. Yeah.
yeah, and so my time at the tables is actually probably less than a lot of the other DiceCon players, but
Okay.
part of that is just because I haven't brought that much budget. So this year, I'm at least going to try to do $500 a day. So maybe I should make that a resolution, a goal, pin it up. 15, Jeremy, you need to bring 1,500. So
I got an idea for you. How about you try to get some of them cans off the cruise ship, and come off with?
Well, there's no. There's not
bags
very
or
many cans on the cruise ships.
No, I can't. I think they got some cans out
They
there.
do
right?
have some, but most everyone gets these drinks because everyone's drinking or have drink packages, and
Okay.
so
I don't know. It might be worth it. I don't know. Check with your where you're going out of in the state and see what they're going for on there.
that's awesome, Jim. Win-win for the environment too. Yeah,
There
Jim's
go.
all about it. He's
The
cleaning,
real- hey,
cleaning
I'm the
his
real
neighborhood.
environment.
He's
You
getting
can
cash for gambling.
Hug trees all you want to, but if I'm making the place pretty, and the
Mm-hmm.
world operates on incentives, social, moral, and economic. So I don't see other people out there picking up cans, but yeah, I do pick up cans and have a good time with that. I did want to get to Thrine's comment though. I saw this blaze by and I couldn't read it. He said, "Hey guys, had something happen for the first time last night at the table. Someone was rolling the dice really low at the table, and the stick man said, 'Sir, the dice need to be a hands with your hands above the table.' I guess he was dangerously rolling them too low to where they were thinking they were sliding them, I think.
Sliding?
Yeah, he was. Yeah, here it is. The next comment. He was worried about that a person was sliding the dice from straight out all the way down the table. Never heard of this. So yeah, I've never heard anybody say anything about it, but I've seen it on YouTube. You can go Google it right now. But I think it was in Indiana, and a guy is sliding the dice, and it looks like one die is rolling. He spins and slides one and spins the other one, and it stays flat, as all the dice influencers say, but it slides and stays on axis, and they load up on the hard ways, and they go ahead and nail it out on there. So yeah, it's definitely a thing. But usually
there's
a lot
form
of
of cheating.
Yeah,
Yeah, some of them will have little ribs or
a
like
bar,
one
yeah,
little
ribs,
bump across
yeah,
the middle
yeah.
or whatever, and that what that's for is exactly that. I've never heard a warning against it. I've heard the opposite of like, hey, you're throwing your dice too high because they don't want to look up
and get your eyes away from the
get their
chips,
eyes off of the table.
Yeah.
But yeah, how dice sliding works is like I said, they will usually they'll slide one. So like if the 6 is on top, this one just slides across the table while the other one's rolling. So quick look, they both look like they're tumbling. But this one's a 6 or whatever
Guaranteed,
number,
yeah,
which you
whatever.
can only you've eliminated so many combinations, right?
Right. You're literally down to the second die, which is one out
Right.
of the 6.
So that's how
And
that
they
works.
Load
But
up on the hard ways.
I would think they could see if one's and one's tumbling. I mean, it's a little tricky, but I've never heard that warning. But that would be what that's for. They want at least a little. I guess they're not asking for much. I mean, the guy must have been really low. I don't know, but it is a form of cheating that people have pulled off. Probably
Like I said, you can go
successfully, but
online.
Yeah,
you
there's a
can go
couple of
online and
stories of
watch.
people
Yeah.
getting busted for it.
And they actually put the
Bellagio had
video
one.
of the roll. Yeah. The Bellagio was the other one.
I know Cleveland
they-
has had one.
They actually showed the guy rolling over
they
there.
pop up in the news from time to time.
And then Tom brought up the point. He said it would be tough to do with all the chips on the table as well. But if they get an opportunity, they will go for it. But yeah, it would be tough to do. And then sometimes that when they do it, that second one doesn't even get halfway down the lane.
It would take a lot, to be a good dice ladder. I mean, you're gonna be working. That's a lot of practice too to get one to
Oh
be
my gosh.
tumbling, one to be sliding.
Yes.
It's almost like a magic trick. You got to get good at it, make it look like you're just so. But people do a lot of work to
a lot
to
of
get
work
money cheaply
to
or
cheat.
win.
Yeah. If you're not cheating, you're not trying, right?
The Palms $5 table. Jim mentioned that Palms had $5 table, and Neo says that it's always super busy, which is great. But I think more and more casinos will kind of do that. So they're a block or so off the strip. you want to attract people. Hey, I got a $5 table, which is kind of unheard of, around downtown Vegas, but I think you'll see more and more of this because it does bring in people. Some will never do it. Like the Wynn, they don't want $5 people. They don't want my type, my kind there.
They don't want color up there.
Yeah, to a degree, I get it. I mean that I'm just kind of tongue in cheek, but there are people who will come in and play $5 just a line bet. They want free drinks or they cause problems. They're not really there to play, or they have whatever. They're okay. I'll make my $5 bet. I want to press it up, or reduce it down, press it up, reduce it down. They not only have ever $10 of action. They never tip. You don't want your table full of these type of players. So there is a sweet spot that casinos find, but it is a great marketing thing to say, hey, we have $5 tables, and I think you're going to see more $5 and $10 tables out there.
Yeah, I think now that travel has opened up and the mask thing is gone.
The greed, they did it as long as they could, and now they have to compete a little bit. It's back to the days where you got to compete for customers. You can't just not everyone gets to screw us.
Right? Yeah, because they
know
have
you're gonna fight
if you
for
make
our
the
business.
trip. Yeah. Let me see if I can pull this one up here. She was wondering about you can't slide technically, Jen, but I don't know about this Uri rolling toss. I have to look into that.
I know the Uri grip, and he's wrote a book about dice control, but I don't know what the
Yeah, I'm not a dice controller. I don't play one on TV. I'm pulling for you guys. Again, I'm not anti. I just don't know. Sorry about that. Don't know about it. I was trying to get off of that comment.
Yeah.
But
I never play $5 tables unless my friends. Yeah, it's a different crowd, and some people, if you have a bigger bankroll, you don't. Yeah, angry. There'll be the people who fight over the $1, prop bet or whatever. So it makes sense if you have the budget. A lot of people avoid the table. There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah. I say I don't play $25 table, but if you have the budget, I completely understand the market for it. There should be $25 tables because that brings a certain crowd, certain type of usually a more knowledgeable player, because you have to have a significant bankroll. So it kind of weeds up. They set their table limits based on who they want. And
I have a theory about that.
This one might be trouble for you, Jim.
How did you not? Yeah, so I'm going to speak in code here to my friend.
Well, and then I don't know if this is a code, but does this mean anything to you? WIW? I don't know.
I don't know. She's a retired teacher now. She just retired, and I don't know what WIW is. Okay. But I'm sure it's some cool student thing that she knows about that I don't know. So I'll have to open up a tab and Google that. So, but yeah, we've traveled as teachers. We've gone to Nashville and cities, not Las Vegas. No,
this is Jim's little dark secret. He doesn't tell the kids.
No,
that he's gambling. He tries to keep.
And I don't gamble very often.
He's not a big gambler for sure.
Yeah.
He just helps me out on my podcast.
There you go. Thank you for providing the cover I desperately need. But hey Carrie, good to see you. Congratulations on a great career of teaching too, by the way. So that was one of the nice things we can do. Now,
Neo's spot, sweet spot.
Yeah, I was getting ready to say that. I'm
a $10 guy.
You like the 10?
Yeah, the math's easier. They just 15. To me now it's 50% larger bankroll, and I'm just a low roller guy. So 10 will keep out the $5 crowd, but.
It's funny. Some of my biggest wins have been when I have, played on the bigger table, and I have a theory about that.
You win bigger.
Yeah, well, yeah. Also the other way too, though.
Yeah, that's true. You lose more, but when you win, if you're forced to play a $25 table and you win on, you're going to win more because as much as a $5. I know a lot of us graduate like a $5 table. Maybe sounds fun, but you cannot win anything. It's like. You press and press and press.
Yes.
Like you got to hit it multiple times to get up to what? A $25 bet where you win 35? Like, you know what I mean? You can't, it's very difficult to win beyond $100 at a $5 table. So it's a whole different game.
To me, I agree with you 100%, and you're right. So there's a sweet spot, and the sweet spot is you got to be lucky for a short period of time, and if whatever level your table is, that's where you're going to win the most. So obviously, a higher table, you're going to win more, but that sweet spot makes a huge difference on if you are going to win or not. And you got to find that sweet spot with the right budget, because you could play and you have the same sweet spot of rolls. I mean, congratulations that you've won. Hey, 65. Come on in.
Yeah, the key is to be properly bankrolled, because if you go whatever it is, $10, $5 table, $10, $15, $25 table, if you don't have the proper amount to get through a couple shooters, you're just going to be donating your money to the casino.
Right.
So, at a $10 table, you make 4 bets on average, $40 per shooter. Don't go with less than $400 or $500 at a $10 table. Jim's got the family coming in.
Oh yeah.
Just because we're in overtime, but it's fine.
Yeah.
So if you come with $200, like you got little to no shot to win. You got to get lucky from the get go, and it's just not going to happen. The same. So you go to $15 table, you got 4 bets. Now you're at $60. Mm-hmm. If you add some odds, you're at $75. You need $750 to $1,000 to give yourself a shot to win at a session. Right. I think. Mm-hmm. At a $15 table. So that's how it ratchets up. $25, you're going to need $1,000+ to give yourself a shot. So, Justice Jen mentioned she loves a $10 cheap field bet. One of the things I like about the cruise is they treat the field properly as a prop bet, and you could do it as little as $1, at least on Royal. I don't know about Carnival. So a lot of times I'll just throw my pennies out there and just parlay them up until it's a $10 bet, and then I'll put it on the cover a number.
So there's
a real cheap way.
Method to the madness.
Yeah, there's a cheap way to do it.
That's good. And then she also had the wonderful idea of making sure everybody wears their name badges for the meetups. And again, Joel, my bad on that earlier. On that one, let's see.
$5 tables for dinners and drinks unless it takes off with crazy. Yeah, you could win. Obviously, you can win $500 or more if you hit that 30 roller or whatever, and you're pressing. But it is very difficult to win anything significant on a $5 table. And even the difference between 5 and 10, just because where you start off at 10 and you press, it just big difference.
Oh yeah, and then this is. And again, I know you're talking about DiceCon and planning it out and all that, but when we had the Sahara, and it all depends on if you can get the people to go ahead and
a lot of times people already have comped rooms, right? Whatever it is, Caesars or MGM properties. So to say, hey, come to DiceCon and I have 20% off a room or whatever, people are like, yeah, but I can get one free. So that's why I don't push it that much. But one of the things this year I am trying to do is try to get it at one resort. I'd love to do that. Hasn't happened yet, but I can always wish for this year it being a thing, because I'd love to primarily stay and keep bumping into people at one resort.
Let's see. I'm trying to see if there's anything else that we haven't gotten to. I'm about midway through the list there.
What is the strategy for $200 buy-in, though? The all-day strategy, maybe. I'm not sure if what that's related to. I mean, if you're on a $5 table, you're 22 inside. But yeah, if you're at a $25 $200, you can't do anything. I mean, $200 is a bubble craps.
Or you could do the
$5 table you could play. Pass line, 2 come bets, single odds.
I was gonna say you could do Crapsy.
That's still $60.
Guy, yeah, you do $5 each way. Do and a don't, do and a don't, do and a don't.
Yeah,
pass, don't pass.
Yeah, there's things you could do, kind of hedging and stuff like that. But yeah, just you're not doing much. Unfortunately,
no,
it's like, even with $200, this is not a cheap hobby by any means. We're not saying that.
None of them are. None of them are cheap there.
She said on Royal, I'm guessing that's to the $1 field. So yeah, Carnival must not have that. The field bet should be treated as a prop bet.
Well, based on the house edge.
Yeah. If they only pay in triple on one number, 5.5%, one roll, come on, that's a prop bet. Let us bet it for $1.
It's a prop bet. Yeah, but they're not going to.
Okay, thought that was my buy-in procession. Yeah, I'm more of a, 300 to 500 player, but on a $5 table I could make it work with 200, but I can't do that. I'm not gonna I'm not gonna go to a $10 table with $200. It's just not a thing.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. Anything else jumping out there?
I'm covering all the ones at the end.
To the bottom. Yeah, I worked my way down. I think I caught up to you on those. So.
Here's the more interesting points on $5 table. Now that I hear that you're saying, I guess that it isn't a dream come true. The thing about lower table limits is you could still play your game. $15 if you don't mind the crowd or it's not crammed packed because it's the $5 table. If there's space and the dealers are good, $5. Because the cool thing about it is you could play your normal $15 game, $25, whatever it is, but it gives you that option to like Jen said, if it's a cheap field bet, you could throw in the $5 on the field, or you never play the 4 and 10, but on a $5 table you're like, I could cover those both for $10. So it has its benefits there, but yeah, there are some drawbacks of the crowd and it being busy or whatever. So, and it just being more difficult to win. It is what it is. It has its pluses and minuses, and $5 table is a good table to learn on. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, so you could say, hey, if you got $200, let's play and learn, and because you could do it for $100 on a $5 table, because you'd be like, let's make a pass line bet, or let's just bet the 6 and 8.
Yes.
Or pass line and then a comeback and just kind of watch and learn the game.
Odds. Yeah.
So you could do that with $100, and you might lose it, you might win a couple.
Can't
bucks.
Do that at a $25 table with
and it would be tough to be like, hey, want to play this game? Even a $15 table. It's like, okay, put a pass line bet down for 15, and then you roll, you lose it, or let's put $30.
You'd be more honest and say, hey,
6 and 8. It's like,
I'm a wannabe magician, and watch me make your $100 disappear.
Yeah, they're like, wait, I've been here 5 minutes and I lost my $100. Like, yeah, that's the game. This is the game we love.
Exactly.
So it's a little tougher.
Oh my God, this chair is killing me. Oh boy.
Well, let's end it then. Let's shut this thing down.
It?
We appreciate the space.
Yeah. No,
but the chair is no good.
I will tell Sam how much we appreciate it, and you appreciate it, and I hope you have a fantastic cruise. We will be off next week, right? As far as YouTube, and then we will hopefully jump back on the, what'd you say, 13th?
Something like that, yeah. Sunday night at 8.
Okay, 12th or whatever it is.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Thanks for everyone's comments and listening, and we will see you probably in 2 weeks. But
2 weeks
for watching
or so. Right. Bye, everybody.
Good night.
All
Have
right,
a great New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Yeah,
Happy New
exactly.
Year.
Happy New Year. Yeah, you got to get that in.